This is about World of Warcraft, baby. Matt, oh man, World of Warcraft. There are things going on. Would you like to talk about patch 10.2.5, Seeds of Renewal? Not to be confused with Avatar 3, the Seed Bearer. Which
I don't think people would confuse that.
In a very childish way, I always laugh about. I think it's called that.
I mean, did you see any of the tweets people were making about one of the core things people were doing at the launch of 10.2 Guardians of the Dream? There were at least 20,000 tweets.
The seed is strong.
In the World of Warcraft, in the WoW twit space.
Frost my flakes, daddy.
About spreading seed, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I met somebody at BlizzCon who wasn't aware of Tony the Tiger on Twitter. I'm really sad because they actually stopped posting on the Tony the Tiger account because everyone was horny posting on them.
Yeah.
You guys had such free marketing. Come on.
Yes, but also I'm sure someone at some executive level went, "This is a cereal for children. Stop. Please stop. This is unreasonable." Now, should they have veered into an entire thing? Should they have just went, okay, well, we'll actually just market this product to adults now and make it really weird? Probably. They could have sold it in CD stores and happy. But
could have moved into condoms. You know, go to the shop.
Yeah.
Pick up a pack of Tonys. Just call them Tonys. Done.
Could have got a certain dragon implement manufacturer on board. Could have.
You know, I almost got sponsored by Bad Dragon, but it was for Dragonflight, but it was happening at a time where, you know, I thought it would have been funny, right? And I was basically going to get one of those Bad Dragon implements, and in the sponsorship, my plan was I wouldn't acknowledge what it was. I'd be like, look at this incredible fantasy themed coat hanger. So I'd stick it onto the wall and hang my coat off it, or perhaps use it as a doorstop. But then, then sense kind of got me.
Dreaded sense, it really does kick in at the worst time and ruins jokes.
It really does. It would have been worth it for the bit. Ah, well.
Always, commitment to bit is always the, I think the one thing you should go for in life.
Speaking of seeds.
Renewal.
Seeds of Renewal. World of Warcraft Seeds of Renewal is our next content patch. Personally, I expect this to come out in January of 2024. I then, based on what Blizzard have said, think there will be a patch every 8 weeks until the next expansion comes out. So that probably means March for patch 10.2.7, maybe late April, early May for 10.2.9, and I think 10.2.9 will also coincide with the Fated season. I think the Fated season is going to involve some world content, unlike the first time they did Fated in Shadowlands. So I think that'll happen, pretty much 6 months from now, right? Because that's going to be the new season. And then maybe, September, October, we get the new expansion, and there's the pre-patch there. I'm sure they will maybe have a 12-week patch cycle, 1 or 2 points in there. But overall, while it's not major content patches, I do actually expect this to still be a fairly active year of World of Warcraft. So overall, our first thrust into this is Seeds of Renewal. Our first feature to talk about then is follower solo dungeons. And this is pretty cool. So it's actually who they are. Porter Gage tweeted, as Porter Gage is like to do. Oh, nice. The characters of the NPC Dungeons are the Exiles Reach characters and their cross-faction. There you go. Friendship is not only magic, it is also new game features. So these NPCs can tank, they can heal. They're available in all 8 normal Dragonflight dungeons. You can queue solo or with up to 4 players. So it could be you, a healer, 2 more DPS, and then you could get a tank. Which seems like a nightmare to code the behavior for.
Yes.
Okay, Blizzard. What happens if I write go, 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 or tank pull? What will the tank NPC do? Anyway.
Leave immediately.
Oh, that would be so good.
That would be fantastic.
So we've got that. These companions will allow you to learn the dungeons at your own pace and provide you with the freedom to experiment with your party makeup. They join your party. They fill whatever role was not filled by one of your pre-existing members, and rewards will be the same as running full normal dungeons with a party of players. This bit, pretty good for the old transmogrification. And in the next expansion, with the Warband feature, you could pretty much run these on normal mode, and assuming you're a DPS, maybe you could do them pretty fast, and all the loot will go to you, which will mean that, you know, like multiple armor types, you'll actually pick that stuff up.
That's theoretical.
Very theoretical.
They would probably try to make sure you don't get a loot benefit for doing this, because then
they have said that it's the same as doing it with a full party of players.
Yeah. So I would assume that adjusts the loot down to the NPCs can get loot. I would imagine that, because otherwise this would just be the only thing to do. Loot,
it's normal mode.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
That's true.
It's normal mode. I've actually think it's going to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Anyway, pretty cool feature. We talked about it a little bit already. For me, the main thing, and like in FF14, in Endwalker, I always did these. I always used them because I didn't want to wait for a queue. I wanted to run in and do the dungeon, and that's what I did. I also found that, like, just the pacing of it, like, I could go into the dungeon, I'd actually learn the fight. Now, of course, that wasn't as relevant for FF14 because it's FF14. Those dungeons ain't particularly relevant after the level up experience. Like, certainly not in the way that Mythic Plus is. Now, the only problem here, I would say, is Mythic sometimes has its own mechanics. So, it's like, what you would ideally want is a Mythic Zero training mode. Or something. But then you get the problem where if you're actually cranking the difficulty up to be that hard, well, you don't want these NPCs to carry you. You also don't want them to be too weak, but also you don't want them to compete with playing the game the intended way, which is almost certainly going to be with other people.
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of the sacrifice you make. And this is the same thing that happened right back whenever they're like, here's LFG. It's the same idea of this will or could theoretically change the like entire social fabric of the game. And combine that with Dells in the War Within, and it's obvious they're like, yeah, we are willing to take the risk. We're willing to take the risk of the social fabric of the game unraveling because, for good reason, I think, because I think they believe that the social fabric existing as it is a myth, in that people aren't happy to do dungeons. Like, if people don't want to group with people, they're not grouping with people to do a dungeon and going, oh, that was actually fine and great, and I love that. I think they're seeing that people have the opposite experience more often than not, and would just go, well, why are we trying to force you to do something you don't like? Whereas we can just let you do the thing you want to do instead. I think that's mostly like that case. And obviously there's you go back to the FF14 example, and there's a lot of like character you can get through that, where sometimes it's literally fun because you get to see how different things, different people respond, and like not quite exposition or lore, but just character dialogue. Like, there's the dumb character and they're doing dumb stuff. There's a smart one, they're doing smart stuff. So even the ability to do that could make it literally more fun for people who are into narrative and into characters and into dialogue than people who are like just want to smash through and get it killed. So I think there's a couple other things I've seen people talk about, which is, someone mentioned that, yes, Gus said Mr. GM has a video out about it. It has an extra action button with an arrow that commands your AI tank to move or hold if you want. I see other people saying about, Mad Bunny says Taliesin was testing it out. It was incredible.
They just tweeted. I don't know which of them tweeted, but tweeted saying it's incredible.
Yeah, at one point he ran out of mana. He was the healer, and the tank stopped and said your mana bar is low. So it's very tutorialized, it seems.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
Yeah, and I see some other stuff where it's like, if you are a healer and you don't heal, if any of the other members are off healers, they will help you out.
Oh.
So Paladin tank will throw a heal across to help you out, which is really like, that's how the game is played. I hope that's how the game's played. So I think that's interesting. And in that case of just, you can just go, just play the play the game. Like the prospect of being able to, especially the DPS, like that is such a game changer for DPS. It's beyond belief how much it changes.
That's the big thing. Whenever I'm leveling up, I'm in DPS, and I want to keep on leveling up, or even just keep on playing. And it's like when you've done all the quests, they lead you straight into the dungeon. Yeah, you can go in the queue and do some other quests and continue the story and then go back to the dungeon. But I don't know. There's just something that feels right about like, the quest flow now tells me to go into this dungeon. I go, and it just works. So yeah.
Browser, yeah, the irony will be you'll get more interaction with the NPCs than in most pub groups these days. Exactly.
Easily. The other side thing for me, technology. Because they have...
Don't like it. Sticks and stones the whole way.
Badly. But like they have the tech to allow these NPCs seemingly to handle these dungeons. Right? So if they have that tech, I then just think about like what else could that be used for? I've got to imagine this is an extension of what they developed for Island Expeditions. Because like I've always looked at Island Expeditions and thought, well, shit, why don't you have a version of PvP that's that? Like, yes, there's the Arathi Comp Stomp. Could we try some more? Because whenever Comp Stomp comes up, like people just grind it for honor. But I think there's something to learn in that. And as much as Island Expeditions themselves kind of bored me to tears, just with the way they were set up, maybe if I was doing them now for the sake of mounts, transmog, whatever, like it would be fine. But like the bits that I would remember would be fighting the enemy team. And like, yeah, it's okay, you 3v1 to the AI, but the point that matters is when you were about to kill the AI, it bubbled, or it got a heal from another AI, and it actually felt quite fun and interactive, the way that they moved. All of that stuff. So I just feel like...
It was gameplay, like...
Yeah, and whenever I was talking to the devs in my currently unpublished, I need to work it out, how to publish it, interview, they were talking about like, yeah, don't worry, Bran Bronzebeard ain't going to be dumb. That's not how they sounded or phrased it. But they were just like, we want this to be a smart Bran, a smart follower, where he'll run around, discover things, talk to you, like all of that. So yeah, I suppose I just wondered like what these NPCs could do. I always kind of wish that, imagine there's a war zone, right? Like, the Shatrath war zone in WoD. Whenever I say war zone, I literally just mean a place where there's a war going on, not a feature. I think it would be pretty cool, say you have a bunch of rare mobs that use the NPC AI and actually roam about the zone, killing people. Stuff like that kind of goes like more MMO, more this is a world. Anyway, I don't want to like noodle too much on it. I think just for me, this is evidently a cool thing that they can do, and I suppose I'm just pretty excited that they have this tech and that it's still something they can use with the current version of the game.
Yeah, I like, obviously the title of today's stream is "This New Feature Will Fix WoW's Biggest Problem," and I think that's one of the
big title.
Yeah, because someone said earlier, this is, is this intended for leveling in new players? Yes, but not entirely, because people will definitely want to play it when they've like, there's a lot of players who don't want to, would rather do this than run dungeons with people. Mm-hmm. But new players is one of the interesting parts, because it's not a good experience being a new player and going into a dungeon, because there's no like new player experience plan for that. And when they did plan a new player experience, it was exactly this, where you do your first dungeon with NPCs. So that continuing is just going to be, here you go. You, as a new player, don't hit friction. That's it. You just keep going. You just keep going, and you get invested in our world, and you get invested in the stories that we're telling. Obviously, you go, what story? Dragonflight sucked. Yeah, but if they go and do any other expansions and they get that stuff, it's like, oh yeah, you could see the new player thing, which I think is probably one of WoW's biggest problems, is onboarding new people in a pretty like engrossing way that gets them to stick. I think anytime that happens, it's like word of mouth, or obviously I know like the Mythic Plus scene has a lot of growth through Twitch streamers, but I feel like there's a case of how do you go with the other parts of the audience?
Yeah,
and this will help it.
You feel like a healthy game's got to be also involving people who just come home, play the game, and don't go onto Twitch. If we just talk about Twitch, we're very limited to like one little, not little, Like, yeah, pretty big, but definitely a segment of gaming, not gaming as a whole. Reclaiming Gilneas. Is this going to be redemption for their rather rumbly, I think, BFA era Heritage Armor quest? Who knows? But there's a nice thing. This will not be testable on the PTR.
Good question mark?
No, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
From what we understand, though, because you can go into the PTR, I speculated about it on today's video. It's the Scarlets. Or at the very least, there are Scarlet corpses in Gilneas. Which kind of makes sense. Of course, I'm sure you and Jared have talked about it as well. Me and Jared have talked about it. And Jared does a lot of writing for the lore content that we do, both on bellular.ghost.io, there's a plug, and our lore videos, of course. And how many times a day do you think about the Scarlet Crusade? That's a different question. But yeah, there's Scarlet dudes there.
The Scarlet Resurgence definitely is painted under a new light, given we know we're heading towards midnight. So it is.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously, if they're getting even if they're not like poised as a big threat, them showing up whenever it's time for the light to fight the void would certainly change the flavor of them and everything that's going on. So it would. So that could be a little bit of intentionality here.
Can't wait to see what happens on WoW Twitter when a Scarlet Crusader calls like an elf knife ears. I think is it a knife ears in? Oh, what fantasy IP is that? The anti-elven slur.
Couldn't tell you, but it's a pretty common one. It's a pretty common one.
That's kind of why I suppose it makes sense the Scarlets are here in Gilneas, because the Scarlets would see certainly. It's just kind of interesting. You would imagine the Scarlets would see Worgen humans as being like quite, problematic. Not really the sort of thing that they're a fan of. And that's kind of seen in their propaganda posters, where they basically they're like, oh, again, he's a big old furry, but you know what? He's kind of cool. He'll do for now. This is the Scarlet pamphlets, the Scarlet Brotherhood pamphlets that you see in, I forget what patch, I think it was 8.1.5, when they started to appear around the world. And seemingly, it's like not been picked up on by the game plot properly, but we've certainly seen the results of all of that propaganda now. And hey, killing Scarlets, thumb up. They're a good enemy. They're fun. It sort of brings me back to, back in the day in the original Plague Lands and so on.
Yeah, they're I think they're just one of the satisfying ones to fight. Maybe it's a little bit of that. Oh, you did it in vanilla and you did it in Miss again. But it might literally just be because how often do we get to fight an organization that's pretty actually well-founded? Just think about killing Primalist, and you're like, Primalist, whatever. Then you're killing the Scarlet Crusader, you're like, yeah, these guys are a threat. Yeah,
you're like, you should watch our War in the Plaguelands video about the rise of the Scarlets. It's a good video, and it's a good story. Right? Like, all of the different characters there, the way that some of these ostensibly good, well-meaning people end up certainly being pulled in a very rumbly direction. It's a good story. It's a good story. They make for a great villain. That'll be pretty cool. Lordaeron is great. I think Lordaeron's storytelling is great. It's pretty fun that we're getting more of that. So, yeah. The thing is, though, I don't really know what else we can say about this. I suppose I'll just be interested in what this place will be like post reclamation. Will Blizzard just give it all of the standard, I suppose? Oh, that would be something.
Pray tell.
Well, in World of Warcraft Midnight, what will the player hub be? That's a question. But anyway, this would be the largest Alliance city that is the closest to Calphalas.
It would make sense as a staging ground. Yeah, definitely would. Unless we just teleport everyone everywhere again. But yeah, it being in close proximity to Calphalas would make a bunch of sense. Because obviously Silvermoon can't be the player hub. Unless something crazy happens, it could be. Because God knows what that actually looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, a revamped Stormguard, Silvermoon? Yeah, but I think Gilneas being set up would work pretty well. Especially, I mean, it might just be kind of trying to wrap up a story, but obviously there's so much of that to feed into the Alliance stuff too. Like, hey, we need a reason for Gen not to be hanging around Anduin all the time. He has to manage Gilneas now. Because I assume you have a lot of free time whenever you're the king, and you don't really have a people or a city. Just kind of walking around, be like, oh, we'll just do whatever we want. Just kind of chill and whatever. But now you're like, I've got a city to run. Sorry, I have to do things like sign documents and think about city planning and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I do see a lot of people on places talk about like almost preemptively nitpicking the Gilneas story in regards to the test stuff from the Heritage Quest, and then as well as like to what degree will Gilneas be revamped? Will it be given the right respect in the way that a lot of people think Amirdasil kind of hadn't? So I think they have a pretty tough sell to get everyone happy with it. But at the same time, I kind of feel like if they just throw a load of Scarlets in, then the Worgen get their fantasy of killing the shit out of dudes. And being, well, we're the Worgen. Why do we win? Because we're Worgen. That's part of who we are. We have integrated our shadow. Look at this. Themes. Done. Look at this. It's Persona 4 all over again. Nah, it worked fine. But it isn't. It's honestly, I'm just happy it's happening, to be honest.
Yeah, so our next thing then is the Azerothian Archives. This is a event, seemingly sort of like weekly style event, that'll be going on in the Azure Span. Discover the history of the Dragon Isles and meet a unique cast of characters, hear stories of old, and witness the iconography of times before. Participate in solo and group activities within Trader's Rest with a weekly public event. Plenty of opportunity to explore and earn rewards like battle pets, mounts, and a transmog set. And the group activities won't be on the PTR. I have to wonder if that is a necessity or if that is a discretionary thing based on the content of said group activities. You wonder why they would hide it?
Because they want to put big lore in it. They don't want us to make 7 videos for it out.
That could be it. Who knows? There could be some moments in the past of the Dragon Isles that could be relevant to the rest of this saga that we're being propelled on. So there's that. There's not much else to talk about it, but hey, sounds cool. Dragon riding unlocks 80% speed cap. Thing is, though,
I get their logic, and I don't assume. How for this? I assume their logic is not based purely on, we don't think you should go that fast. I'm assuming there's a technical thing they're not.
Oh, they've said. They've literally said they're restricting the speed outside the Isles in order to not make travel times in old world contents trivially short.
Yeah, I read that, went, yeah, but do you also is there a reading between the line? Is there, oh, you're gonna load stuff too fast and it'll look scuffed?
No,
I don't know, maybe
loading stuff in the Dragon Isles would be like there's more shit to load. Certainly thinking about the experience that we have had in versions of World of Warcraft that sometimes get used that allow you to sort of do GM commands, in which case you can see how the game responds to saving and loading.
That's true. True.
I think it's fine. By the way, 80% of maximum dragon riding speed right now is still way faster than normal flying.
Apparently I predicted this. I'm glad you remember, because I don't. There we go. This is the thing. The amount of things I say that I have no recollection of, it's quite dangerous.
They do say the Dragon Isles continent is pretty massive compared to some of our older ones. We need to adjust speed accordingly. Yeah, the Dragon Isles, like, when you hit the M button in WoW, that shit's different scales. Dragon Isles is the Dragon Isles is like Northrend size. It's massive. So certainly, like, if you're moving side to side in Eastern Kingdoms, you'll be there in no time. Like, it really does expose. In the same way that regular flying exposed how tiny the old continents are, considering their density of zones, dragon riding really does that. So I'm not angry about it. I think it's a big improvement.
Yeah.
We could be angry about it. We'd be like, the fun police, they're back.
Like, that's true, but also seems good. So there's something in the middle of yeah.
So some cosmetics then. Look at this, over the shoulder cloaks are coming, which kind of means you can get pretty damn close to a full Lordaeron Arthas. if you really want.
Insane.
Yep, so we got that. We got just various, kind of...
Gaming.
Yeah, we are gaming. Hey, these look pretty cool. I have to imagine we will get these at a rate of one every 1 to 2 months on the trading post forever. And that is my prediction.
That was a really yawn, but it was also part of the bit.
That's how it goes. There's also the magical girl anime outfits. Here we go. If you want to be a sailing moon, you can be one.
They're very inspired by Mahou Shoujo stuff, which is excellent. Excellent stuff.
Oh.
It's maybe a little bit more precure than anything else, but it's good. It's very, very good. People will be super happy to get these. I already have planned which of my characters get which.
And Matt, you may have to start. You may have to forego some class sets because one potentially unfortunate thing about all these cosmetics is the currently data mine traders tender prices is going to be expensive, excluding the placeholder 999 tender value for the Love Witches set, which is usually reserved for the monthly bonus reward. Purchasing everything will set you back a cool 2,950 tenders. This will very likely be, yes, part of some tie-in paid store bundle in February as well.
I don't know where you're reading that because I was literally just scrolling down this and back up again,
way
back up again, and back down again, and back up again.
There you go.
There, yes, okay. Yeah, so, whoops. It's going to be scuffed.
Yes. Hey, they're nice sets, though.
Why would they...
Money! Money's why! Money!
But it was fun!
Money!
Why would you get money instead of... Why would you get money instead of fun?
Money me now! We have roses that you can chew on.
Honestly...
Chewable roses. There they are.
Gaming super hard.
We have some wands. We have staves. We have bows.
There's something about that particular color. It is so like dark precure. It's brilliant.
We've also got the fur end ship fox mount.
Just for you.
Which, hey, you know what?
Hang on. This isn't going to work for you. End ship? Nah.
Uh-oh. Which, hey, I mean, strong commitment to their shapes.
I like it.
Big snout, big fan.
Yeah.
So those are really nice. We also have the Heartseeker Mana Ray, which is
big yawn.
It's a pink Mana Ray for 270 love tokens.
It is a number for people who like numbers.
We then have a bunch of virtual reality prawn goggles. It seems very good. Enjoy that.
That's gonna change
for your eyes only, and the date simulation modulator. Pretty sure scientists are working in those right now.
So challenging to be quiet. Ooh.
Your restraint is magnificent. So that's going on. There is also some Noble Garden things. They did announce a Love is in the Air revamp, but there seemingly are new Noble Garden rewards as well.
Crazy.
Not as much, crazy here. You get some spring dresses. If what you want is spring dresses, you can wear a bonnet.
That's good. That's good. Oh,
I love the fucking headless bonnet, man.
Yeah.
Where's his body gone, Wowhead?
Hang on, let me.
He's just falling out.
Yeah, let me find something here that makes me think of. I don't want to. I am a person who likes to talk out loud when I'm typing, but then I would spoil what I'm actually trying to show here. Sorry, I have not slept properly in 700 years. Where's it at? Here we go. Yeah, this is. I don't even know why I'm going to show you this, but it's literally the first thing came to my head, and I thought, well, you know what? If you're so sure you like my specific brand of brain rot, here you go. You can have it. Once it uploads and loads. I actually started playing this slightly recently. For like
what is it? Oh, yes, Wolfenstein New Order.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. Good video game.
Oh, it is.
Shame about the rest of them.
Yeah. Shame about everything else that happened. So yes, we got that and various other things and weapons and just that's a good sword. I like that. Rewards.
I
for
like
years.
that sword.
Rewards for years. They have artists now.
Can we get a class that uses a bow that isn't hunter? I hate hunters, but bows are cool.
Yeah, that will be kind of neat.
Sorry to any hunter fan. Oh my god, that axe. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. They are popping off with these designs.
Some nice stuff.
My god.
There's also some stuff for the Hearthstone 10th anniversary, which is the next page in our document. We got a transmog that looks very silly in that character model. There is a hat that, of course, will hide all of your character's hair, therefore making the hat unusable. One of World of Warcraft's many great features. So we have that. We've got a Compass Rose, another flying disc mount with Hearthstone Swirl. We've got the Fiery Hearth Steed, aka Tempestuous Sky Stallion, which is just a red version of the old blue one. We got a mouse. Big. And some other items. Bunch of toys. 36 slot bag. That's kind of nice.
Stone of the Hearth. That's very good.
And then there's more. Let's go into all of the other data mine stuff in this patch.
Parcels, oh my, they are cooking so much more than I thought. Jeez.
A lot of them have played FF14.
Yeah.
Thing is, WoW doesn't have any GPOs. So yes, we have got some parasols.
That's why Blender exists, Michael.
And don't people achieve a lot of interesting fluidic things on that? As we move on to the Explorer transmogs and weapons. If you remember this Recruiter Friend set, there's a recolor of it. Seemingly, maybe it's the Azerothian Archive event. Maybe it is the Trading Post. Who exactly knows? But yes, we got a bunch of kind of like exploration, archaeology themed stuff. Some kind of neat looking, glasses, all of that going on. Then we've got some peacocks. One of these is from the Trading Post. I believe the Peacock mount is really, really nice. These have a full set of dynamic flying animations as well. From what I've seen in Twitter.
No, we're talking.
The final one.
Sweet.
Yep, there will be some logs that will look very cool.
Good. You could fly around on that with the fucking dark colored Love is in the Air set.
There you go.
That's good.
You can live out your animus in World of Warcraft.
Fucking brains lighting up like it's Christmas.
We got butterfly capes.
I think people might be getting a vibe for the kind of aesthetic I like. Jesus Christ, this is amazing.
We have crystal broadswords. So
we can Dark Souls finally.
Yep. We have these duelist shirts. Also, props to Keyboard Turn for doing I really like the background.
Yeah.
So these are nice shirts. Mm-hmm. Big fan. Big fan. We've also got some new Night Elf weapons. And various doodads.
Oh, wow, look at that. I bet I'm going to be so happy that my druid can use some of these. Ha, 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 ha. Let us dual wield you cards. Horn?
Yeah. We've got whatever this is. You're not there yet. Yep. Who knows what that is or where that's from.
Oh, yeah. Stephen made a joke about that. I don't know what it was.
I've missed Stephen's tweet.
Sure.
We've got the Explorers Stonehide Pack based. We have a Hornstrider, a red Hornstrider. And seriously, actually look at the details there. That's a pretty cool looking bird mount. Right? Like, it does look properly, like,
why is
gnarly.
The neck so big, though?
Oh, wow, that is...
so wide?
It's been mewing.
Got that fake... oh my god, what's his name? Huberman. Got that fake Huberman AI ad.
Now,
the Jockserciser was called.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing. You got a wallet, Matt?
I do, yes.
Good. Are there payment methods in that wallet? Because here is the Troud Lords of Galia, and I think everybody expects this to be a store mount.
Store mount?
Yes, so these were data mined in 10.2. The actual items that let you acquire the data mine set have been added in the 10.2.5 PTR.
My self-censorship.
And there they are. Is there evidence for the store set? Yes, because when you take a look at the in-game sets, it says in-game shop variant.
Well, that sounds like...
You can also see Love Witch's attire trading post.
Yeah, so Now, I do genuinely believe in due process for justice, but at the same time, I feel like if this were one of the first things Columbo stumbled upon in an episode, it'd be a very short episode.
I think so.
Fuck, I love Columbo.
I should really watch Columbo.
It is one of the better television shows ever created. At least the best half episodes.
Yeah. So, character customizations. The next things that are happening. We have got one. Let's go. Draenei color. We have got the Dark Glare pet, which is getting some color as well.
Oh, what's that about? Silhouettes in PvP, Blizzard, huh? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You've went back on your principle again, and everyone's happy about it. I would have loved to be able to take this segment to its its logical conclusion, but considering Ian basically did just spend his entire interview page going, "Yeah, we were wrong about everything," you're like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, good work. Very happy.
Suppose it turns out it's pretty hard to run a video game if you're wrong about everything.
Yeah, also that's good.
That was good.
You said no. Yeah, the Observer pet. Look, you. Oh wait, is it a Dark Glare? Oh, never mind. I'm completely wrong then.
Oh.
I'm an idiot.
No, they're adding customizations for all of these, and also some for your Tyrant. We then have got 5 troll hair colors.
Yes.
So there we go. We got that on all the various different trolls. And there you go. More customizations have been added into the world of Warcraft. Next thing then.
For that, I will do people a solid and say, Blizzard, give trolls beards. Good, nice beards. People have wanted it for a while.
Good, nice beards. I'll cost a raid here. Raid buff scrolls returning as trinkets. What the hell is this? Could Blizzard be adding back the sorely missed and commonly requested raid buff scrolls last seen in Battle for Azeroth? Filling all the raid buffs, essentially locking in a good chunk of your group comp has been a pretty big issue in both Raid and Mythic Plus since the scrolls were removed. So this could be, if you want to bring the player, not the class, a relatively big deal. So here we have new raid buff trinkets. Some new basic trinkets have been data mined in 10.2.5 this week that have an equip effect covering some of the class-specific raid buffs, including Chaos Brand, Bloodlust, and even a Resurrection Unk.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this being how they're doing this, because that feels insane to me. Like, oh yeah, sorry, make a big sacrifice of a trinket to put on Chaos Brand. Because who's going to do that? I imagine, obviously go, well, who's going to do that? Well, it's going to be the tank, right? It's going to be the tank. Instead of their damage trinket, they take that. And then someone goes, but what if I need my defensive trinket? And it's get good, loser, which I think is like a thing I can't imagine them doing. But at the same time, if it is something like the solo follower dungeons, or it is just them putting these on a trinket to see if it works, then you could imagine these working as almost like a enchantment effect on a trinket or something like that. Could you enchant your trinket with this, and then you can. Well, trinkets may not be the best move because people swap them around a lot.
Yeah.
But like a unique enchant or something like that. They seem to be testing it out, which is cool.